up the 2023 Donner Hard Enduro main event day on Sunday. I hope you got your oxygen bottles on standby and ready to use. I know I needed one on this race almost right off the get-go. Something about a hard enduro that makes you instantly fatigued. You had that angry beehive all revving up before the race, getting your nerves up. And I started row 7. I was the last one off the row, carrying my tradition from last year, being the last one off my row last year. Got to keep tradition alive, you know what I'm saying? I had a lot of hopes coming into this race. I've been training hard this past week and just overall better rider than I was last year. Conditioning wise, still have much to improve, but I do feel like the skill was up from last year. So they changed the race a little bit from the beginning, even just overall weekend. So Saturday they had this hare scramble that you could use as a prologue. I elected not to do that. I just went in Sunday in the back of the pack, row 7, which, you know, there's pluses and minuses to it. I know as an amateur rider, being up in the front, even I'm in the B's, so even up at the front, you're still going to have a pack to get through anyway, so I figured not that big a deal to start in the back. You know, work like Graham Jarvis does and just work from your back all the way to the front. It's fun passing people. It's kind of lets your confidence down when you're getting past. When you're passing people, you feel like you're riding good. Anyways, so I didn't do the hare scramble. Me and Kyle both did not do it. We did a hard week of riding. If you watch some of the other videos, I have quite a few more to come out, but I've been biting at the bit to get this Donner Hard Enduro up on YouTube. So here we go. So a bit of a dusty start here right in the beginning, and they changed up the course. Pretty much the course was the same as last year, but they did add several extra elements or obstacles and rerouted a couple things over the same obstacles, which is nice. You know, it's nice having a fresh course or just a different course. This guy got off the line early in the beginning. So my goal in the beginning was just to get through the rock slab with the least amount of energy as possible. Last year, absolutely destroyed myself going over the this rocky spectator hill area, and my goal was not to repeat that, to be more patient and work my way through the rocks much more efficiently. And I believe I did that, but there's no way to get through it without a struggle. Here's the first slab area. This is totally different from last year. They had us coming straight across ahead of us there, coming a side hill in this whole thing, and now you come down from the top. And me and Kyle did walk this course the day before, so we had picked some good lines. I really think that was beneficial to us. So we walked this before, and I knew to come up high, just stay up really high in the bushes here. So that's what we're doing. And I wasn't gonna go left right there. It looks like a little bit of a struggle, bust through that little tree. I'm gonna go through the bushes here and cut down through this little gap, this little valley right there. As soon as this guy gets out. Now I'm cutting across. Cut in line here. That's just part of the hard enduro. If you can't be polite to everyone, and you're trying not to piss off other people too, but it's inevitable because just how crowded and bottlenecked it gets, you know, and everyone is really amped up to get off to a good start. But the rocks, it can beat you up. If you pick poor lines here, you can really gas yourself really bad in the beginning. I feel like I did so much better this year through the rock sections.
Arm pump coming.
Arm pump setting in, of course, in the beginning. I should have cut left right here. See that guy cut left? Should have went left right there. Too late, I passed it, so I couldn't go back. Still going single file down here, which didn't get hung up, so just went smoothly down here. Last year I got a little bit hung up right there, but come down, take a right, kind of hit a bad line. I should have went low or high, and instead of went right over the worst spot to go over that rock. But made it through. Got fresh legs. Those fresh legs are helping. Conscious of my heartbeat, you know, I wasn't really nervous going into the race. I've done quite a few races now, and I don't have the nervous race jitters like I used to. especially the hard enduro. I know it's such a slow pace race where you don't need to be so worried about getting out, to get out and get a good start. Unless you're one of the leaders. The leaders definitely do worry about that, but I'm mid-pack guy, not worried about the great start. I know it's going to thin out, and I'll be able to work my way through some of the crowd here. Now the pros, you see Cody Webb, that the big ledge there on the left, he just goes straight up that. He doesn't even go through that little crack. He just hits that face and sails right over it. Just totally awesome. I went this route last year, really struggled right here. There was quite a few more people, and I still get hung up this year. I should have hit it with a lot more speed than I did, but you guys know how that is. Sometimes you just can't get the perfect run up, and then as soon as someone comes, starts bumping into you, you're like playing bumper bikes in here, trying to get up the hill. And I'm off, I'm giving it a little push. I do have a brand new tire on. I got the Michelin Extreme Enduro. It's a 140/80 18, and it is ultra sticky, super soft. I feel like that was a good tire for the rock selection, and it really did well. I drilled out my moose. I do have a new moose on there, which I said in one of my last videos. I think a moose, even when you drill out a moose, you still, in my opinion, should put a ride down on it. So, trying to get up this rock slab. They did open this line up last year. They had this little side part roped off, and I did walk this. We walked this whole section last year. I mean, yesterday, not last year. We walked it yesterday, and originally I was going to pick this line, but there was a big line going up here, so I tried to do that little side rock area there and didn't make it through, but made it up there, no problem. I could have cut right and gotten over that little hump right there. That would have been a little bit better, but there's this next portion of this rock is so crowded, the bottleneck's so bad that there's really no advantage to saving yourself 5 seconds here or there. You just really got to get in line and try to not dump your bike over a dozen times and waste a whole bunch of energy. Last year I went left, that main line to the left. This year I'm gonna go right, and it was so clogged up. Look at Brian right there. That guy put in some miles today. All throughout the ride, I mean, it didn't matter. I was all over the hill, and there'd be Brian walking with his little baby right there. I was like, man, you've been putting in a lot of miles just walking the race today. Don't get a smooth run up here. This was so clustered up right here. Really just crawling like ants over the rocks here. If you could hit this whole section, if it was cleared out, it'd be so much easier. But this is how hard enduros go. The hard sections are just a mess. So there's no fast and easy way to get up it, unless you got the confidence where you can just hit these insane lines and get through super fast. Oh, that guy sent it. I come over left here, and there's a big line. This is the hard line, this way. I did this last year, and no one was here last year, or at least when I went through. I rode C's last year, and I'm doing B's this year. And so there's just a bigger crowd. That when I came through C's, there was just not as many people. They've already gone through. So I get up, lined up. People are struggling. We do have to help each other out through here. Quite a few people are helping out. Get off. I don't carry good momentum into the face here, but I don't lose my balance. I keep the bike up, get the front end over, and these gentlemen here are gonna help me up, which thank you guys. Last year I pretty much had to drag it up myself. I did have one guy help me last year, but that was so much energy last year. This year, way better. Thanks, guys, for helping out.
Thank you.
This guy was staying, helping people out. Bravo for him. Get on through. So that's basically the hardest. That section right there was really hard. And then, of course, you got the famous wall coming up. And some people weren't hitting it. You got to hit this wall. You come all the way to Donner. This wall slab is just like what everyone's waiting to see people hit on. So you got to hit it. Just give it a go. It is steep. Like, it is no joke. It's steep wall climb. But every time I come here, well, it's only the second time, I think I can do it, and I know I can do it. It's just hard to get the run up. Now, I watched it from another guy's video. Blake, he had me in his clip, so he was nice enough to share it with me, and I broke it down in slow-mo, and I can see why I messed up. So here we go. Let's see if these guys can send it up over. There's a big line off to the right if you don't make it up of waiting. So if you can get over this rock wall, you pass a ton of people, save a lot of energy and time. It's worth the risk. The guy's stuck. All right, here we go. I come in. Now, they cleared a lot of rocks from last year. Last year, it was really rocky, bumpy. Get up here. Looped it out. Made a pass, though. If you're going to loop it out, you might as well pass someone in the process. So I know what I did wrong here. Here's coming in slow motion now. I come in, and I hit the front of my handlebars with my body. You can see my body bounces back. And when I bounce back, I pull back on the handlebars, and that's what causes me to wheelie over. I mean, that tire, that Michelin Extreme, really gets a lot of traction. So what I needed to do was preload and be able to brace myself and not just slam into the front handlebars there and then get thrown back like I did. So I watched several of the pros. They preload, and they're able to keep their body from slamming into the handlebars. They do get up in the handlebars, but whereas you can see, I just kind of slammed into my handlebars and then ricocheted back and pulling the bike back. So need to work on that next time. Practice on some slabs if I can find some to get that balance right on the climb portion. Here you gotta be kind of rude. You just gotta get in here. Everyone's just trying to get in when you can. It's so bottled up right here. So you just got to know. Here comes Kyle. He's gonna hit the face, and he just tries to ghost the bike up. The bike ends up almost chasing him down the rock, and he takes a nosedive into the dirt right there. It's kind of hilarious. All right, I wedged my way in here. Such a poor angle to get in here, and the rocks on the bottom are really making it hard for me to pivot over. I think I'm leaning on the bike behind me. I get a couple helpers up here. I guess they think the old 450 guy can't make it up but right on. Riders can help riders, so I appreciate the help. I'm not gonna say don't help me. I'm like, yeah, help me out. All right, this was new. Last year it went left around the rock. They opened it up around the right here. Just a little descent, engine off. Just let the bike roll. Not that hard. All right, that was like the hardest part of the rocky hill here. The rest of it's not nearly as hard. They do have a couple more slabs coming up later in the race. Pulled up here, took a little breather. That's the main, that was the hardest section. Now it's all kind of a little bit easier. Did really good on this climb. Kept on the throttle, kept my momentum up. Get up through here, look, just snake through really quick. Little ledge, little rock step up, just hopped a wheelie over that, no problem. And this is a steady climb. It is very rocky. You just got to keep that momentum going. And when I walked this yesterday, I saw this high line up here. You get on this little rock ridge slab, lots of traction. And then I should have hit it. I should have just kept going straight there, but I decided to drop in to the left. It's just a little bit straight over the line. This is a pretty good climb there. And there was quite a few guys spinning out right here. Which I get up here, run clean, and then I do my famous dart. I darted into that little ledge, stopped my momentum. Then I lost my balance. So I ended up being one of those guys too that lost my balance. But doing pretty good. Just like my first big just dump of the whole race. So not bad, other than I had 2 times getting helped over those harder obstacles. Did pretty good. That girl there on that, I think that was a little Kawasaki 85. You'll see here quite a bit. Here's a little slab. These are, you know, just little climb, little wall faces right there. Now here's where the Donner's like a chess game. You know, you got to really be smart. Pick good routes so you're not just killing yourself. And when you hit obstacles, you really got to hit them with some confidence. I told Kyle coming in, you got to pick your battles. You can't just be, if you got the skill and endurance, you can just be non-stop hitting all these things. But I picture like Graham Jarvis, who is really a tactical technician guy when he rides. He really picks the line he wants to do, and he doesn't just rush into things. If you watch Billy Bolt, he rushes into things. His skill's so good that he can get away with it, but he just totally just flies through things and kind of learns as he goes. Or doesn't, you know, he's just on the fly going down the hill. Now there's a little left line here, a little high line, and we walk this and going right. It looks steeper, but it's a clear shot, so I'm gonna come here and go right. You see a lot of people can go right, but that is really steep downhill. So you just let the bike roll, and it was a little bit easier. And there's a little ramp, a little send off. I don't send it off. I need to just give it some gas right here. It is going up, and I needed to send it off. There's a little gap to clear. Of course, I did not. So you gotta clear that gap, because your front tire hits that rock in front of you if you don't do that. Anyways, not too hard. Get through that section pretty good.
Oh my gosh, so tired.
So tired. Yeah, my heart rate. Something about hard enduros, your heart rate is maxed out from the get-go. It's like the gun shoots off, bang, and your heart's going 200 beats per minute. Woo! Take a breather. You're through the rocks. The first big rock section is done. You got this little forest part. Catch your breath here. Get that heart rate back down. That's what I'm thinking while I'm riding. I'm like, all right, don't kill yourself here. This is just a little forest single track. Get your heart rate down. Catch your breath. There's some more rocks, some more obstacles coming up here, so save your energy for that. Need an oxygen tank, I was saying at the beginning of the race. Yeah, I got my 3-liter pack of water. I carry an extra pack of water. I got salt pills with potassium in them. I got a couple gummies and some other protein bars. But maybe pack a little oxygen tank. Because, man, we're up at altitude. Donner here is 7,000 to 8,000 feet. You feel the altitude, you know, it really hits you hard. And in some places I'd go like 100 feet and have to stop, or 50 feet and have to stop. Here's checkpoint 1. Yeah, buddy. Last year I only did 3 checkpoints. And this year I'm able to get 5. There was a huge hill climb that they added in the race. And I was just gassed enough where I was, you know, just not feeling it. I made 2 attempts at it. And I really, if I had enough energy, I believe I'm a pretty decent hill climber. I know I could have got it if I just made maybe 1 more attempt. But mentally, I was kind of out of the race and just wanted to get back. Yeah, look at that. That Michelin Extreme tire really did good. Really grabby. I know there's a lot of these rocks had a lot of little film of dirt from the other guys riding, but I really like this tire. I've been riding on a JX8, so switching to this. The JX8 was phenomenal too. The Michelin Extremes, it's a pretty expensive tire. I think it was running like $170. But I wanted to try it out. I said, well, I want to try what this tire is all about. My only drawback was I wish I would have put 1 ride on the Moose before this race to really get that Moose squishy. I drilled it out, and I believe it felt like about 5 to 6 psi. And the Moose is a 6 to 8. It's a plushie from Nitrotech, and it says 6 to 8. Drilling it out, I think I got it to like 5 to 6. But if I would have gave it 1 ride, it would have been sitting around like a 3 psi feel, which I think for a hard enduro, that's the level you want. You need to be real soft, real grabby through the rocks. Tight little tree section. This is all fun. This is like when we rode the Silver Lake. We did that Horse Canyon Trail, and we got that real hard enduro section through. That was very similar to this style of riding right here. So nothing new. I mean, as far as the level, I feel like this was at my level right here, riding. Some people taking it, the whole race, there's people taking breaks, getting rests. I mean, I was one of those guys, you know. It's not a hare and hound or a hare scramble where it's just a sprint enduro, where it's just all out racing, at least for the amateur guy like me. For the pros, I'm sure they're all out racing. You know, Cody Webb doesn't look like he even slows down. No worries, I got plenty of room to get around you, buddy. One thing different this year from last year was this is a much drier course. Last year, a lot more water. This little creek here is full of water. And then there was this major climb through this creek to the right here. And last year I went left. See that guy on the left right there? I chose that route last year. That was the hard line. Faster line. It's a hard line but faster. So I go to the right here. It's the easier line. So where that guy is, there's a huge hole for your tires to get stuck into. You gotta, that little slab to the right, you gotta get up right and ride that up. Otherwise, you just gotta push your bike over like you did, and you really expend a lot of energy. So right here, I don't want to get stuck in that crack like I am right now. I'm like, all right, you gotta pivot up out of that. So I'm gonna get the right tire up on top of that ledge to the right, and then I'm gonna kind of pick my back end up. Come on, yep, there you go. Get the right tire up there. Get off the bike. Gonna pick up that rear, move it over a little bit. Now the person behind me is like, kept saying, "Hurry up, let's go." Just gotta be patient. I get it up just enough to get some traction. And I get a little push, and then I clear that. So I didn't have to push as hard as I did if I would have got that back tire stuck hanging over that rock ledge there. You can hear my breath though. My breathing's heavy. The heart rate is beating. Last year this climb was, oh, it was torture. There was water come down here. Yeah, a little bit of a struggle there. But for me, this is actually not too hard. Last year, because of the water, this is a much bigger struggle. I made it through here much easier than I did last year. That line that guy just took, that high line, I went up there that way last year. This year, I'm not going to do that high line. I'm just going to ride it straight through the creek. So there's quite a bit of a bottleneck or weight, not a bottleneck, just a weight. So I was able to get up just, 10 feet at a time, sit and breathe and rest. So I wasn't struggling nonstop the whole time. That really helped out. Just doing these little bites here and there and then getting like 15, 20-second rest. Waiting for people to clear out in front of you. Just doing little rock backs, making sure I'm getting momentum. Now I should have went straight. I know that was a pretty good little climb right up there, but now we got a rock. Get that rock out of the way. Get out of here, rock. Should have went straight right there. I think I could have made that, but everyone's going left. You got to sometimes you get stuck following people, so I make this left-hand pivot. That guy in blue right there, his name's Aiden, and we battled quite a bit throughout the whole race. I'd pass him, he'd pass me, I'd pass him, he'd pass me. Good rider. He's having a little bit of a struggle right here through the creek. He's getting some help. Make this right-hand pivot. Now I'm going to do the old Rich Larson special right now. The old, get my weight back, throwing my weight forward, dropping the clutch. Watch this. This one's for you, Rich. Oh, right here, right here. Right, weight's back. Weight, throw the weight forward. Yeah, look at that. Climbed right up. That felt so good. Gotta tap myself on the back. Good job, Georgie. This is real slick last year. It was all wet. So it's being dry. Ooh, almost dumped it. Almost dumped it. Made it through. Get all the way up here and look who's coming. I'm telling this guy, Brian, he's putting in his steps today. Now there's a log up here that was slick, and I went to the left a lot. I didn't hit the log last year. This year I want to hit the log. I'm like, I can do this log. Here comes Brian. Oh yeah.
It got me last year, but I think I got it this year.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Just gotta lower my heart rate a little bit.
Yeah, get that heart rate down. Catch your breath.
Damn, how many miles are you putting in?
What's that?
So how many miles are you putting in walking?
Oh. Awesome, man.
Yep. Well, it was good.
So this street, I went left last time, and it was muddy and so slippery. I had such a difficult time trying to get the rock slab. So I'm like, all right, I want to hit this fall log. All right, let's do it. I can do this. It's not that big. Oh, so close. It is on an incline. You are going uphill, so I needed to have a lot more momentum. I had, I think, the right technique. I just didn't have enough momentum going into the log. Now, this was wet last year. I struggled so bad to get my bike up right here. Bike was falling like every 10 seconds. Bike would dump down. You know, I just couldn't get up. I wasted so much energy right there last year trying to get up that slab. But not an issue this year. Maybe it's the tire. I mean, it was dry, but that tire, these gummy tires. I didn't have a gummy tire last year, which didn't help at all. I had that Cheater 525, which is good for the desert and trail riding, but this extreme enduro stuff, you need a gummy. Nice little pivot, little log hop. That was the poor man's way of getting over it, but I got over it. And see the guys on the left right here, more logs. Donner has a ton of logs. I really like that about Donner. It's just, I love the logs. That's why when I go trail riding, I always want the logs kept in there. Ah, it's over. Up is up. Over is over. Wasn't clean. This is a slight uphill there. Everyone's going to the left, trying to hit that little bypass. It was like one of the rare times in the race. Now it's supposed to be roped off, so someone's definitely cut. You can see the ribbon line there. So someone's cut the ribbon line, bypassing. A bunch of cheaters. Everyone's cheating, going to the left right there, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do this. I trained for this all year long. I have logs at my house I train for. I talk a lot of hype about hitting the logs on the trail. I'm like, all right, I gotta do this. It's like a mental, just for me, I gotta hit this log. Here we go. I get it over. Ugly. It's one of them scenarios I should have just did the bypass like everyone else. Saved myself a ton of energy. But got hardcore enduro in the name. I gotta live up to the name. Keep it hardcore. Made it over. All right. That one was just for me. I just mentally didn't want to miss that log, you know. There you go. All right, coming up is another big rock face up here. And I really wanted to hit this one. A guy dumped his bike. He's in the middle, and he's been hanging out there for a while. I think that was the guy that helped me up that rock ledge in the beginning of the race. So he's having a little bit of struggle there. He's getting some help. There's a little bypass right here. And killed the bike. But this little easy bypass, I really wanted to hit that slab. That wasn't nearly as big as that big slab during the Rocky Hill area. I feel like I could have got that one because there was a pretty good run up to it. Really smooth run up. Split these trees. My front tire I'm running today is an IRC, the VX40, and it's a 90/90 size. So not quite a fatty, but still got some height to it. It's a little bit softer tread compound, and I think it did great for the rocks. Got a lot of grip on the rocks. I didn't have my front end slide. This little section here, I did really clean. Look at that. Right up, set me up perfect.
Whoa!
Here's that girl in that little 85. Telling you, she worked. Look at that face. Right up and over. Well done, Trixie. That girl, she was, I think her name's Carly. Carly, she was working. She working hard. She put the heart in hard enduro, that is for sure. But she's going, you know, I love seeing that. People, the struggle of the hard enduro is awesome to see, you know. It's the only race. Look at that. Man, I'm looking good right now. My confidence is up. I'm hitting this rock stuff like a pro. Out of breath though, that is for sure. But we see people struggling in hard enduro. That's what the hard enduro is so awesome to watch and see is it's willpower that gets you through the race. You know, when the fatigue and the skill isn't there, it's just pure willpower keeps you going. It's the only race that does that. I've done Hare and Hounds and the sprint enduro that I've done. You know, even other races like marathon running, I've ocean kayaked, raced, and there's nothing like a hard enduro that just tests everything about you. It just puts everything to the limit. Get that little right line here. This is a tricky little section they've added in this year. You can watch Cody Webb go through this, and he just snakes through so fast. Just like a little mountain goat. Blip, 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 blip. He just goes all the way to the top. Alright, get this left pivot in there. Now, everyone's going to the left. I'm gonna go to the right. Looks a little harder, but I see that guy struggling. Going up left. This is where I could have been a little bit patient, or this was I should have had a lot more momentum. That is a big step up right there. You do have that little rock kicking right, that little rock in front of my left foot. If I would have hit that with momentum, really got up in the front of that handlebar, I could have, I think, cleaned this and got right over it. But I had to do the old heave-ho and push it over that rock ledge. Wasted a lot of energy there. But it looked like that left line, that people are struggling there too, so that was a hard line as well. Real tight fit to this little gap right here. Got the legs up and over. And nice, got it up that ledge. I was feeling good. My heart was racing right now. My arm pump is almost gone. We've been riding all week, and I think my arms are kind of in shape. I was feeling good, but I was really breathing hard. You can tell, because I basically just throw the bike on the rock right there. Really gassed. Now this was the section that got in my head. I struggled right here, and it wasn't, I mean, this was a technical section, or a hard section to get up. You did just have to have the confidence to send it up that slab. I come over here and go right. I lose my balance. Right there, I lost my balance. I almost dove to the right. But I stayed on the bike. Luckily, I was up on the pegs. Caught myself. So I make a second attempt here. Oh, my front tire wheel. That's what happened. My front tire wheelied off that rock. Made me fall. If I would have just been left a foot, I would have avoided that rock and I would have kept on going. That's what it was. So I cleared that, but I didn't get my balance right in the steering. I had to drop the bike down. And this fall here is where I bent my handlebars. So my handlebars are now bent off. I feel my brake lever and my clutch lever are really high, and it makes the rest of this ride just feel really awkward. And then my right bar is bent down quite a bit. So I'm sitting here watching. It's in my head. There's like a mental game now. I'm just watching people go up this. And I'm like, damn it. It's so easy. It's just a one shot. You just confidence go up. And since I fell twice basically, or failed twice, like I didn't hit it. So I take this sideline, which is the harder line. Or my riding earlier, that ride in Silver Lake, we hit a little rock climb like this and made it up, no problem. You just, like I said, just confidence, keeping your momentum up on the pegs, letting the suspension do its work. And I didn't do that. I got mentally out of it right here. Just a struggle now, without any momentum to get started again. See, even there, I should wait back, wait forward. I just wasn't giving it enough throttle. Fatigue, frustration, rocks, all getting in my way.
I'm struggling.
Yeah, you're struggling, buddy. Getting caught up there on my foot peg. It's frustrating, you know. It's just like the rock slabs can catch your bike, foot peg, and it's so frustrating. You're trying to get it uncaught. You're just pulling the bike, trying to twist it, and it's just not working. So I had to zigzag up this climb, which I should have just shot it, you know, straight up. Everyone else is just going straight up. It's saving so much energy. But I made it up finally. This guy had a little trials bike up here. He probably just hopped like a little mountain goat on that trials bike everywhere. I remember this from last year. You could go right here. You didn't have to go left on that slab. Just a little sneaky downhill right there. Cut that slab, hard right. Really fatigued though. I needed to probably stop here and catch my breath more, but I wanted to keep pushing. Get here, lost my balance. Look at this guy wall ride. He's gonna come up and just ride that wall on the right. Like, look at this. Just rides it right there. It's so easy. Why did I do that? That guy trusts his tires. My tires are really good. I should have just trusted my tires. Probably easily could have did the wall ride just like he did. Now I'm gonna think about this. I use these videos not just to show the race, but I'm using them as learning too. So I can see how to improve my riding, or what I need to work on as far as skills, which is pretty much everything. But you know what I need to work on, and then even vision, like being able to pick a better line than the line I chose. You know, not getting stuck going where everyone goes. Being able to think outside the box. I talk about that in my other videos. Think outside the box, be able to hit a line or hit an obstacle more efficiently than what people are doing. Now coming up behind me is going to be the rider LeBlanc. Watch this guy. I hear him coming. Pull over. He does a little. Look how easy. I mean, it looks effortless. I talked about that in another video too, where the pros, it looks like they're not trying that hard. It looks like they just blip over. But here I don't really see. He just jumped off that, sent it, and I don't. So then my front tire drops in the crevice of that rock. It just makes it hard, you know. The pros, this is like an easy enduro for them, whereas amateur guys, this is extreme hard enduro. You got to make the hard enduro look easy. If you ever get to that level of making a hard enduro look easy, you're probably a pro. Alright, I saw the arrows back there. We're riding the pink arrow, but there's another orange and black arrow, and that's from the hare scramble that they did yesterday. And as I said at the beginning of the race, I elected not to do that. A couple reasons, because I'd been riding all week and we needed a recovery day. Otherwise, I would have been just dead if I had to ride just back to back. We were doing 5 to 6 hour rides every single day, and the body just needed a recovery day. And even today, I don't feel like I was recovered quite enough. I feel like I could have used maybe another 2 days of rest before I hit this big race. Pull off here, have a little snack, change out the batteries, I believe. But and then the other reason, you know, if you do the hare scramble, I like, Brian needs to throw something else in. And here's my suggestion. I really like the obstacle prologue that like the Outliers does, or Red Bull Reminiacs does. that it's not a 2-hour race, high-speed race. It's just a short little loop of obstacles, maybe 20 minutes, and you do it in heats, so not everyone's doing it, but you have less chance of injuring yourself and hurting the bike doing it that way. So I didn't want to do the hare scramble and injure myself, because you can go, you're going fast, or just trying to get seat position, and or hurting the bike. If the bike gets damaged, I don't have a ton of extra parts to fix everything. So that was the reasons I didn't do the hare scramble. I said, I'd rather just go in the back and know that I got my rest and that I got a healthy bike going into the race. Right on. Here's a nasty little section right here. There's a little ledge and another spot where I feel like, why didn't I hit this ledge right here? I should have easily been able to get over that ledge right there. But I didn't see any of these guys hit it, so I'm like, well, if they didn't try it out, I'm not going to try it out. Which I've hit ledges like that, many times around my house. I got a couple of cement blocks that I try on. And you really get your bike wedged in here. This was an awkward spot to be in with my bike. Had to do a lot of pushing right here. And then there's another rock just around the side of that. If I had momentum, you could just snake through that. The bike would have probably kicked around in the back, but you would have gone through it real quick. And I don't do that. I come through this little crack now. Just make myself work so damn hard right now. Wedging my bike in. I'm like, how could I wedge my bike in worse than it is? I just wedged it in here. Oh, terrible. I should have went on the other side, sent it through quick, been up with the pegs. The bike would have whipped around a little bit, but I would have carried the balance, I believe. Finally get it through. That was a ton of energy. I have to come up here and take another 5-minute break. I had so many 5-minute breaks. I'm sure all y'all had mini breaks too. I mean, it gets to the point where you're going like 100 feet, having to pull over and rest, and then you put in another 100 feet and pull over and rest. That's where I wish my conditioning was up. If I had good conditioning, I made 5 checkpoints today. If I had my conditioning up, I fully believe that I would have made 6 checkpoints. I would have got up that big hill. Look at me just breathing. Someone pass me the oxygen bottle right now. I need it. All right, caught my breath, got my heart rate down. Everyone taking a break right there. That guy's sitting down having a picnic. It's nice. Nice little Rocky Creek section. Love this style of riding. This is good hard enduro single track. Trying to be smart about snaking my way through here. That back tire, I really like it. I'm a believer. Now I think the JX8 would have done probably just as good, so I'm not saying this Michelin Extreme is far superior, because I'm sure that JX8 would have done very well. And there was a lot of guys out here at JX8. I saw a lot of the VE33S's too, which would have helped on that hill climb, that big hill climb that I got towards the end. And so that is possible to do. Maybe bring that next year. Last year they didn't have a big hill climb, so I wasn't thinking about a big knobby tire. I was thinking about the rock slabs and all the difficult time through the creeks, the water section. There's Aiden right there again. And this guy's Miles. He was gonna hit the slab, and then he decided not to do it. He came to hard line. Then his buddy came. He's like, no, you gotta hit the slab. So here's Miles' buddy, goes through. Tries to ghost it at the end. It doesn't make the bike slides back. Rips off the rear fender plus the seat.
I don't know, Miles.
So look at that. He just chucks his seat and fender there. So here comes Aiden now, who we've been playing tag. He gets it up right to the edge there. Up is up. Now it's my turn. Get it? Almost. Bike hangs on by a thread. Right at the edge though. Oh, this is where the deadlift belt comes in handy. So I wear a deadlift belt. every time I ride, just for this occasion. They got the big heavy girl. That deadlift belt, I'm telling you, it just paid for itself right there. Saved my back. It was heavy. That was hard though. I pulled as hard as I could. I didn't make it. Oh, this slab is taking people out. I did see a ton of people. So before I went, there's like 5 guys, including Aiden, that all made it up. And there's checkpoint 2. So they all made it up. So I didn't break the chain of making it up. There's another tree. If I could have went around, just like that one earlier. I didn't want to go around. I wanted to clear every tree. And I fell over. No one's watching now. Okay, no one saw you. It's all right. Just keep on going. No one saw you. All right. Get through that. That was that slab there. Kyle, he ghosted his bike over the slab, and that's where he really crunched his handlebars. He had, when we rode dog skiing or moon rocks, he looped his bike out, and he's got, I guess, X-grip handlebars, and he really bent the hell out of those. We had to straighten them out. And then on that slab right back there, he ghosted his bike, and it fell on the handlebars and bent really bad. And the other side, it bent the opposite side of where we straightened it out. So the rest of his race, he had these handlebars that were like low. It's like when you go on that the cruisers, you know, your bike, the old bike beach cruisers, and they got those low handlebars that kind of stick right in your belly, your gut. That's how his bars looked at the end of the race here. A little breather. This was the only like easy, just get some airflow through section of Donner. I think that was just Brandon Petrie that passed me, one of the pros. Roosting on me. Watch, you gonna do a little jump up here. I see him do the jump right there. Get some air. And I'm like, I come up here, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna jump. Nothing. No air at all. All right, here's that. This was taking a lot of people out. Rocky hill climb, this bouldery rocks. This is where a lot of people struggled, including myself. I made it almost to the top. They've got this little side line, and I get enough traction where I can do my rock back. This reminded me of when I was in Jawbone, hitting one of those peaks in Jawbone where it's just got this bouldery rocks that give way, and you just got to take it inch by inch or go back. I could have went down and just made a second pass. See, that guy just flew up there. Saved so much energy if you could just one-shot this. You got to carry the speed to carry up these rocks. These rocks are not giving you any traction. You're having to just rock back, drop the clutch a little bit, rock back, drop the clutch a little bit, rock back. Using a lot of energy. I'm trying to keep the rear tire weighted though. I'm not trying to push too much with my legs. I'm just using my dabbers, my feet, just for balance. I'm using that bike though to wait in that seat, trying to make the bike do all the work. Get up to the top here. Now, the top was hard. This downhill was scary as hell. It's the same rocks, and you got to go down, and they just roll on you. And some guys are walking their bikes down ahead of me, so I get up here, and I'm just gonna. I don't fall. Well, it looks like I'll fall. I'll just lay the bike over so that I can get off and walk the bike down. The guy ahead of me, he's walking the bike down. I'm like, oh, it's pretty smart, you know. It's not worth, to me, it wasn't worth the risk of falling over right here. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna walk the bike down too. So as I'm walking the bike down, this guy just flies past me and he eats it off to the right there. And if you watch some other guys' videos, you'll see them eat it pretty bad. This guy Z sends it. Watched his video, and he just like lets it roll at this point. There, I'm off walking. Look at this guy. He's coming in hot. Loses his balance.
Oh.
I guess the fall doesn't look that bad. When I was there in person, it looked like he hit pretty good. But Zach from Z Sensei, he's flying through this bottom half, and he just crunches into the bottom there. Looked like it hurt. All right, wasn't pretty, slow. but I didn't dump the bike and got down to one piece. Checkpoint 3.
Woo.
Nice work.
So the pros had a split here. Donner has pretty much everyone does the same course, except they have a couple of splits between the pros and the amateurs. And thank God, because they had another hill climb just like the one, that rocky one that we did. It's not that I wouldn't have tried it. If they said you had to do it, I would have done it, but it would have been just so hard. Anyways, you get up here. Come on, Trixie, you got this. Really bouldering rocky, and I haven't released this video yet. It'll come out. It's called the Rubicon Trail. We really got a lot of practice to this boulder fields like this, so I'm glad that we did Rubicon. It's a kind of a Jeep rock crawling trail, but it has a lot of bouldery gardens like this, and so I was prepared. Even though I'm fatigued, the fatigue wasn't helping. There's Aiden again. And he passes me up, and then he stops and tells me he watches some of my videos. That's kind of cool when you meet someone that watches your video. Makes me feel like I'm doing something right.
Do you do YouTube videos?
Yeah.
I watch you.
So that's pretty cool. Every once in a while someone will say, hey, I watch your videos, man. So that's awesome. You know, I hope, you know, I'm doing a lot of these videos for my own benefit of just, you know, analyzing how I'm riding, see how I can get better. Plus, a little history later on. You know, my son's 1.5. Maybe he'll be able to watch these videos later in life. And when I'm old, I'll be able to watch them. But, you know, I hope it's inspiring other people to get out and ride the hard stuff. You know, it's one of my sayings. And get a little freedom. There's a little freedom out here riding on dirt bikes out in the wilderness. I just love it.
Sorry, bro.
Oh, snap, blocking the path.
Right there.
I'm that guy, slowing everyone up. All right, I gotta get off quick. I gotta take the bad line so this guy can get around me. But I was able to get up there. Battery died, did a battery change. Now, the rest of the Hard Enduros, it's got, I don't know, it's easier, which thank God, because you're so fatigued at this point. The rest of the Hard Enduro isn't that hard. I mean, I take that back. You got the log section coming up, which the log section, it can get really hard. But I've been training with logs so much this last year that for me, I did so much better through the logs. Last year was such a struggle for me through the logs, so I really emphasize practicing on logs. I feel like that really has paid off. I feel like I got through the logs pretty good. I mean, relatively compared to last year. This shared some of the same course of the hair scramble from the day before. That's why it's so rutted out. A lot of this course did, and it was just so dusty. You know, it's almost hazardous. It's just how silty, dusty it was from the previous day's ride through here. That's why I'd go back to not doing a hard or a hair scramble the day before the Hard Enduro. I'd much rather do a little closed loop, you know, 15-minute prologue of obstacles. That'd be fun for the crowd, you know. Keep it close there. They got the lodge right there. Just put it in front of the lodge. People begin having their beers and burger, watching the riders do little laps and circles around different obstacles. It'd be a lot of fun for the crowd. Something to think about next year, Brian, or whoever's designing this race. You know, maybe don't do the hair scramble. Not get rid of it. Keep the hair scramble. Just add a separate prologue for the Hard Enduro guys. There we go, checkpoint 4. I feel like this checkpoint came pretty quick.
Straight up this hill, follow the pink arrows.
Straight up, right.
There's another pro split here. Little log, so you're going downhill. You got to get over this little log here, and this pros go left. And it's this little muddy creek. I wanted to hit this. See, I've been practicing little creeks like that. I know they got the split there, but it'd be nice to do a pro line or just try one of the pro lines. This should give you an option. You got one option per Hard Enduro. You get one hard or pro line to pick. You know, that was a short one, so it's just this short little creek section. Boom. See, we're already joined back together. So that'd be fun. You know, as an amateur, they give you a choice. You get one option to hit one of the pro lines for the race. Right here is a double set of trees. And you had this little tree, and then you had this big log behind it. So you had the little log, and you had to use the little log as a kicker to really send it off. And everyone's just casing it, so you'd land cased on the other log.
God, no one fell.
Yeah, they all made it through. Aiden's struggling here to get over. Gonna help him throw his bike over the big log here. And just, it's got this gap. So you got the little log. You see, it's got like a 4-foot gap there. And you really gotta send it, which I do not do. I'd like to do this one again because I definitely feel like I could get this one. That's one of those. I'm just not quite at the level. I take that back. I think I am at the level. I just fatigued. My confidence is a little bit down just from being fatigued. But you can't say that. I mean, everyone's fatigued, so you can't just hold that against, you know, just me. But anyways, next log, get through. I'd like to come back just to hit that gap again. I got to set a gap up at my house so I can practice that. That was good. I like that obstacle of having that log gap. Bunch more trees through here. I did snake around this one. Thanks, Miles, for pointing that out to me. Although there was no tape there, maybe it broken. I don't know. I don't want to cheat the course. You know, I feel like I need the course to be as hard as possible. Bunch of logs through here though, getting through them pretty clean. Last year I was not doing this as clean. I was struggling almost every single log. Alright, all these fallen logs, I'm loving it. When I talk about letting the logs lay, leaving the logs, how should I put that? Let the logs lay. Leave as is, you know. This is where when you trail ride and everyone's took a chainsaw and cut up all the logs to clear the path, just let them be. Don't do it to every trail. How about that? Just don't do it. If you're gonna say if it's a black diamond, if you're gonna designate a black diamond course or trail, you gotta leave the logs in there, you know. Otherwise, it's not black diamond. So I loved it. I love Donner. This is how you get to ride if it was raw, like a trail raw, just uncut. That's how it'd be. Alright, I got one up through here pretty easy. Alright. Not the cleanest, but still getting through. I am huffing and puffing for sure. My heart is racing. I'm telling you, that oxygen little tank. I wonder if you can do that. Do you need a prescription to have oxygen? You know, football guys do it in the side of the sideline there. I wonder if I could carry just a little oxygen tank, a mini one, just so I could take some puffs of oxygen on the hard enduro, help lower that heart rate down. Now this spot right here is where last year I was right there in the left of that rock. Left that log, and Tristan Hart comes and laps me for the third time, and he does this awesome wheelie right next to me, and he just wheelies up through that. And I was like, God damn, that guy is badass. But Tristan didn't run it this year. We had Cody Webb, and I got to see Cody Webb pass me 3 times this year, so he took the place of Tristan. Nice log hop. There's a big one here to the right. And here's Daniel Lewis. He's one of the top pros. He's going to show me. Look at that. Just does a little pivot right over the log. Made it look easy. But I didn't. It was a double log. Like there was 2 logs to get over, and I thought, well, I'm going to hit this single. I know he's one of the pros, and they can be deceiving. The pros make things look super easy. And then as an amateur, you try to replicate that, and then you realize it's way harder than it looks. This is Tim up ahead of me here, and we're going to have another back and forth battle. Going just a little ways, stop, resting, going a little bit more, stop and resting, and we're kind of just playing leapfrog here, going through the trees. I mean, it was still a struggle. I did way better this year than last year, but I'd be lying if it wasn't a struggle still, especially at this point in the race. You're very exhausted. What's going on here? Get some traction there, Trixie. That tire, come on. She needs this grab. Even in these slick logs, you know, it's bare bark. Even the gummy tires can still slide on them. Ugh, slide. Too many S's. Slide on them real easy. So Tim, he's struggling through the logs, and he's taking longer rest breaks. And as soon as we get through the log section, get through a flowy part of the race, he passes me up on the flowy stuff, and then I'll catch him on the log section. Got some rock gardens to go through. Now, being drier this year, the rock gardens were a lot easier than last year. A lot of this was wet, a little bit of mud, so it made it real slick for all these rocks. But not too bad to get through. Now, I've adjusted my suspension. My bike's almost totally different than it was last year. I had my suspension gone through. I got Race Tech valves, gold valves in there. I got it set up really soft. For this race, I put all the clickers almost all the way out. And then I got the gummy tire and moose bib, so that the bike definitely feels much different, much better than it did last year. Last year, it was working me over really rough.
Probably three quarters of the way, I'd say.
All right, I'm talking to Kyle. So our car, he's behind me at this point, struggling just like I am. And we get out of range every once in a while. Our pack talks would connect again. We'd be in range and we'd be able to talk to each other. Tell him where I'm at, and he's telling me what's going on with him. His bent handlebars are really giving him a tough time getting through this course. So he's wanting to bail on the course, and the guys are telling him, well, there's right here, there's no way to get out. I mean, you got to ride the trail to get out to the service road. There are several, I don't know, bailout points, service roads that you can get to, but you got to work your way up to get them. All right, we got some more logs through here. There's Tim. He had passed me once again, so I got to work my way through the logs to get past him back. Yeah, look at that. Another weight back, weight forward. I just call it the Rich Larson special. Maybe the IRC tire guy special right there. Maybe the Richie Rich special, something like that. Richie Rich Rock. Something. You need a name for it, because I think about it every time I hit an obstacle now. What would he do, you know? So I need like a fun, quick name, so I can just say that's the maneuver you do. You do the Rich Rock. So little cross logs right here, going uphill, and I struggling quite a bit. I should have got my tire more on the front face before I did that rock back. Here's a little pivot turn, and I did this one, so I could have hit that one earlier that Daniel Lewis hit in front of me. Over it, clean, nice. Got some fans right there. All cheering me on, nice. There's awesome people. Not a lot of spectators past the rocky hill beginning. You know, if you watch hard enduros, especially in Europe, there's a lot of spectators all throughout the course, which is amazing. I mean, there's spectators in the wildest, craziest, gnarliest terrain, and there'll be people hanging on to the side of the cliff, cheering on the riders as they go by, you know, trying to get Instagram, TikTok clips. Donner needs more of that. Somehow Brian's got to figure out a transportation strategy for the spectators. Silver Kings, they have the gondolas running. I know Donner's on a ski resort and they have chairlifts. I feel like they could have had those chairlifts running so that people could be hopping around the mountain, checking out the riders. I think that'd be really cool. Either that or, you know, post some cameras up so you can get some live streaming going down at the lodge. That'd be pretty cool. I think we have that technology. GoPro has that set up. Use Starlink system or something like that so you can get a live feed going back, you know, at the lodge. So like my wife, not here, but if she was here, you know, she's not gonna be hiking all around with our kids. She could be back at the lodge watching a live stream footage. I think they have that at King of the Motos. King of the Motos does a live stream footage for spectators. That's pretty cool. So they need to get that up here. See that back there? Had one of the phantom riders behind me. Sometimes when you race, you think there's a rider behind you, and you look back, and there's no one there. That's the phantom rider behind you. Could have swore there's someone behind me, so I pulled over and let him pass, and there wasn't anyone there. I'm not really pushing it here, just trying to catch my breath. You know, these easy sections here. A little fallen tree right there at a slant. Didn't want to underestimate it. Really came in, hit it perpendicular. Here comes Tim again with the pass. So he passes me on the flowy stuff. Yeah, just catching my breath through here. It's getting towards the last half of the maybe 3/4, 80% way through the course now for lap 1. Here was a really fun climb, and it goes up this little, looks like a ditch or something. You can see the banks high on each side, and it climbs up here pretty good, not steep, but you got to keep the momentum up. So this climb's all about momentum, and there's Tim's up there with another guy that's fallen down, and they're kind of right in the way of the trail, and they have to cross over in front of them, and as soon as I cross over, there's a rut there. I lose my balance, lose my momentum, and I'll loop it up, and then I tag Tim with my bike. I gotta cross over here. I guess I could have snaked by him.
Yeah, buddy.
I tagged you, you're it.
That's it. We're playing bike tag right there. You're it now.
I think I was aiming for you.
Maybe that's what I was doing, you know, and someone stopped in the middle. I do that quite a bit. Me and Kyle go riding. You do a climb, you kind of aim right for their bike. So instead of going down, making another run, I think it's not the steepest climb right here. And if I could just get a little momentum started, she'll keep going. So that's what I'm doing here. Get that momentum going, feathering that clutch, and she just starts climbing. Look at all these little pine trees through here. It's chewed up, but it's still getting a lot of traction. And like I said, it's not the steepest climb. It's not like they have a climb coming up here that it's steep that you gotta send it. Like if you stop halfway, you're not making it up. Whereas this one, you can just keep feathering that clutch. I really needed to get more momentum, but Trixie got it done. Got right up here. Had to do a couple little rock backs to kind of get through this little V'd out trench right up to the flat road right there. Come on, Trixie. Come on, girl. I'm trying to keep from digging a big hole. So I'm just kind of taking my time rocking back and not digging a hole. You dig a big hole here, a lot of people just rev out their bike and then they get themselves stuck. Now my right brake and foot peg are getting caught there in the dirt. And I finally get past that. That was the hang up. It was getting so deep and rutted out there that my foot peg was getting caught. And then coming up, you're gonna hear a little ding. It sounds like dink. So listen, see if you can hear it. Coming up, right up here. You hear that little thung? That was, I don't know what happened, but that's my brake lever gone. So the little tip of the brake lever, I guess the lever's there. It's the tip on my rear brake lever just went sayonara. It's like, I'm out of here. I'm done with this race. Jumped off the bike. So I have no, the rear brake, it becomes real tricky. On these downhills now, I'm feeling for it with my foot, and I don't feel that tip. So I thought maybe the whole lever's gone, but it's just the tip. So I'm having to push my boot really into the bike to catch that lever now, which is almost non-existent. I mean, it was almost like I didn't have a rear brake. These hard enduros, they're tough on your bikes. You know, you can't go into a hard enduro expecting your bike to come out the same as she was going into it. You gotta expect things are gonna break on your bike going into a hard enduro race. But it's worth it. It's worth this type of riding. You can't ride like this anywhere else. And we know that unless it's another hard enduro, you have to have a hard enduro race to get this level of riding, to get this many obstacles, and just to bring the ass kicking that the hard enduro does. It just kicks your butt. Just cruising through here, going slow. So silty and soft through here. I didn't want to hit any hidden rock and have it roll on me, so I'm just kind of picking my way through, not really getting after it at all. Honestly, I don't think I could get after it right now. I'm just so exhausted. Now, another issue that popped up with the bike is my starter button started giving out. So as we get to the back side here, my starter starts giving out, and I kill the bike and I'm pushing the button and she's not starting. Now the WR do have a kickstart, but I'm gonna be honest, I haven't kickstarted my bike in probably over 2 years. So it's one thing I should probably practice on a little bit is kickstarting the bike. Sometimes you gotta feel her out and see what the trick is to get your bike kickstarted. But you're getting so comfortable. The bikes are getting so reliable for the electric starter too. You really don't think about having to kickstart your bike. You're just like, I push the button, bike starts. Kickstart, what is that? But it happens. The button started going out. I need to maybe carry a backup starter button with me. That's probably be a smart thing to do. I know Cody Webb, he said he's got 2 start buttons on his bike in case that first one gives out on him. It was a pretty steep downhill snaking through the trees here. So I don't have that rear brake lever working for me. So I got engine off using the clutch as a rear brake instead of the rear lever as a rear brake, or the pedal as a rear brake. Triceps are burning a little bit right here. Done a lot of body weight training for this race, and I do believe it helped tremendously, but it doesn't matter how much you train, you just get so fatigued on this race. So the starter button wasn't working too good back there, so I get to this little side hill, and it's a little off-camber, rocky side hill. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, I can't stall the bike out here. I gotta really be controlling the clutch. I can't let her die on anything in flat, especially in uphill, because I need to be able to roll the bike, get a bump start going down. So now I'm a little scared to let the bike turn off because I know it might be hard to start. There was a risk through here. This was a steep little downhill through the bushes. Bushes tall, you could barely see. I'm like, the arrows are pointing where to go, but the little zig and zag is making it tough to see. And I forgot to drop the clutch so you can hear it. Now it's having trouble starting. See, I'm pushing the button, nothing's happening. I'm thinking maybe the battery's dead. I've never had a dead battery, and the fan's still running. I'm like, if the battery is dead, the fan wouldn't be running. So I pull in the clutch, I give it a little push, I'm able to keep rolling down, and then I pop it, get that bike running again. So I'm like, all right, that button's giving out, so I gotta just keep it on. I can't stall the bike anymore. I gotta be really good on the clutch. Can't afford to have the bike turn off on me.
858P. Good.
I think you're only the second 4-stroke in the whole race.
Down or?
Are you amateur or pro?
Amateur.
Go that way.
Yeah, thank God. Yeah, I'm not hitting the pro line now. Any pro attempts would have been gone by now. I'm tired, fatigued, bike's falling apart. Now, like I said, I was the second 4-stroke. I know there was quite a few more 4-strokes in the race. There wasn't very many Yamahas. I think there's only I think it might have been only 3 or 4 Yamahas in the entire race. Everyone's with the 2 strokes. And of course, KTM's dominant. A lot of Shurkas, a lot of gas.
Rear brake, my brake broken off.
Yeah, my rear brake's gone. Already said that. Starter's giving out, so I'm like, all right, stall the bike. I know you're tired, fatigued. Don't turn that bike off though, because last thing I want to do now is having to kick my bike over and over and over. I mean, I can barely lift my leg up right now, and I don't want to have to be trying to kickstart this beast. But Trixie, as big as she is, she's a 450. You know, you get used to the weight, you get used to the size of your bike, and it's definitely not a big adventure bike. I mean, she's not like a 300 pound plus bike, but she's not light and nimble like your new 300s or even the 250s or the 200s that are coming out now. You know, super lightweight. But she's held her own. You know, she's done really good on this race. You know, it's the rider. I totally believe riding hard enduro, it's 80% rider and only 20% your bike. You know, I'm sure any of the pros could hop on this bike and, you know, still be in the top 10 pro position. They would have been anyways. You know, those guys, their skill level is just so high that it makes up for any kind of bike deficiency. Going back up the hill now. Got a nice little climb, not a big one, but just enough where I had to get on the gas right up here, get on up the ridge. And this is probably the highest point of the race. You get up this ridge here, and then it has a long downhill, another real long downhill, and I know that I can feel the end of the race. It's still quite a ways off, but the end was getting close, and I'm starting to get like, all right, I can make it. I'm gonna make my goal for this race was to get one lap in time, and I can feel it. Nice long hill climb here, just staying on the gas. Get some airflow, it's feeling good. It's got this long downhill.
I'm on the last part, I think, for the first lap.
Yeah, that's what I'm like excited. I'm gonna do it. My goal was to get one lap. I'm gonna do it. It's starting to feel good. It's got this really long rocky downhill that wasn't an issue. Even didn't have the rear brake. Just turned off the bike. Kind of let it roll down here, no problem. But I did not plan on was they added this huge hill climb. And the hill climb got me. I wish I would have. Yeah, no rear brake. So just let it roll. All right, no problem. Got down, but I wish I would have made a couple more attempts than I did. I only got 2 attempts on the climb and really wasted a lot of time trying to figure out which line I was gonna do. I should have just sent it. Cody Webb came through, and he didn't even pause. He just came around the corner, just took off up the hill. It's so awesome to see him. And at the end, my battery died, so I didn't get him. Right when he crested the hill, he flared his legs out. Here's another real steep downhill. Arms are tired. These downhills, my triceps are just like barely holding on. You know? My triceps about to snap in half. That's what's going to happen. But Cody Webb, you get crest set. It was just awesome because you just saw the outline of the top of the ridge, and he does a little jump. I don't know where, but he got air, and he kicks his heels out, and all of us, there's like 20 of us down the bottom. You know, we're all yeah, you know, cheered him on. And then a whole bunch of the pros came through, and none of the pros waited, lined up, or anything. They just, as soon as they came around this corner here, you'll see what I'm talking about. They just ripped and tore up the climb, and they all made it. Not a single one of them didn't make it up this hill climb. You can just hear it in my voice, my grunts. I am just beat. I am fatigued. So here we go, coming up to the big climb, big line. I'm like, what is everyone waiting for here? And then you look right, you see what's going on. You got this massive ski slope that they're sending this up, which is awesome. I love that they added this in, and I wish they had it last year, but they added it this year. So it's I got to be ready for this next year.
Yeah, what side's
There's
the
Brian
side?
again.
What
This
side's the
guy,
best side
God, he
here?
was everywhere.
What's the secret?
Must have a twin, and they're just both walking around the mountain, you know, because I feel like, how's he already over here? You know, he's just getting around.
Yeah.
All right, here comes Cody Webb. Watch him take off the mountain here, and he just comes through. He doesn't stop or anything. He just tears off. Looks like he's third gear pinned right there, and that was the thing. I should have been third gear pinned. Here comes Ryder LeBlanc, same thing. Just comes around the corner. Doesn't line it up. I mean, he just takes off. Just goes. These guys are so good on the hill climbs. They're able to keep their balance at the same time as just full throttle, and they don't ease off the throttle, so that power band's always in there. I need to be able to do that, be able to just send it up full throttle the whole time, keep them balanced. So here's my first attempt. I start out in second gear, which is too slow. Cody Webb, I mean, he was cooking going up this. He had to be in third gear, just full send, and using his clutch there to kind of regulate his speed a little bit. But you hear the RPMs, they never dipped, and you hear my RPMs, they're dipping quite a bit, so I'm losing speed. Here's second try, go to the right side now. Miles made it up on this side, so I thought, well, I'll give this side a go. But same thing, I just don't have enough speed. The bike just digs in too much and losing speed the whole time up there. Anyways, folks, that's my 2023 Donner Hard Enduro race. I was really happy about it. Got much farther than I did last year, even being a harder race than it was last year. I felt like my skills improved, but I see many points I need to focus on and build on for next year. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and hope you sign up for it next year, and I'll see you out here. But until next video comes out, though, get out and ride and get some. Yeah.